Good evening, everybody. Sweet cheeks. We've seen that all the time. Well, that could be considered an invitation to sexual assault. And tonight, what I'm going to be talking about is sexual assault and the different and contradictory factors that take place in sexual assault. This can all happen to you. It doesn't matter whether you're a lady. It doesn't matter whether you're a gentleman, because sexual assault happens to gentlemen too. I think it's very important for everybody to know about it, and that's why I want to discuss it today. I want to discuss it because I think it's an important topic. My name is Ray Eversole. I'm a second-degree black belt in martial arts. I'm also certified by the United States Karate Association to teach women self-defense, which includes sexual assault. One of the big things that has to do with sexual assault is that you have to look at all the data. There are a lot of different points that go into sexual assault, and they're not always all the same. You have difference in different surveys and different studies, different statistics that tell you a lot of different things. And if you look at one, there's some authors that you go to the second one, you look at authors. Some authors have done more than one case study, and they're not all the same for each author. Some have different sides, good and bad. And the other thing is that they're all small samples, very small samples. All of my references that I did, every single sample was less than 1,000 victims. And to have that small sample, while it is representative, it's a very small sample in a very small market. What you see up on the board right here is one of the three areas that most of the different studies go into. The first one's lifestyle. 72.9% of all victims of sexual assault, according to this case study, had substance abuse either before or right before. So what I mean before is they were a continual drug addict, or they were using prescription medicine that they had been addicted to. Now, on the other hand, what you see up there is the impairment is a tactic of the perpetrator. And while somebody's doing drugs, that doesn't mean that it's their fault. Okay? It's their circumstances they've been under, and that gives the perpetrator no right to actually attack somebody. In every single study that I looked at, they all said no blame. They all said, do not blame the victim for being assaulted, because just because you wear sweet cheeks doesn't give somebody the license to come up and go, hey baby, let's get in the back of the car. Okay. There's no blame associated with, and there should be no blame associated with, being the victim of assault, sexual assault. The second biggest factor in sexual assaults, when I looked at the case studies, was demographic and social environment. This case study, matter of fact, talks about students, and this was done with 882 students that they went to all the healthcare clinics, and this was in Canada. They went to healthcare clinics, and they took a representative sample of 882 people. 32% of all the assaults were done on students. Now, one of the things that says is that it's the social environment. And I don't know, there's a few of you in this classroom that know each other from away from class. But when you sign up for a class, lots of times, you're signing up for a class and you don't know who is in the class. Not knowing who's in the class, we get to be friends. We get to know each other. I'm going to use myself as an example. I like to talk, and I like to be friendly. I moved around every 2 years. My dad was in the Navy, so I learned how to talk. But does anybody really know anything about me? No. So, lived with families, alone, but not on the street. And, again, where this goes to date rape, if you use some sort of prescribed medicine or over-the-counter medicine and been taken advantage of. The third thing is different studies must be compared. The Bureau of Justice has main statistics, has a lot of statistics. What you'll see there are 3 or 4 victims know their attacker. Their family members. Date rape and substance abuse are less reported because it's a stigmatism of blame. Because I saw this, I looked up another study that talks about blame. And you can't blame people. You can't blame the person for sexual assault. A lot of people try and do it, and the stigmatism shouldn't be there. When you do this, you need to read all studies, you need to learn, and you need to be very careful about how you relate to the data. Every single one talks about age, talks about race, talks about gender. You know, the one thing that every study didn't talk about was whether the person was intoxicated that actually did the raping. It always talked about the victim. I want to leave you with one thing. Don't be a victim. By being a victim, don't blame yourself. There's people out there that care. There's people out there that want to help. Please remember all these things, okay? Look at all the results. Everything is different. Thank you very much.